Hey guys, it's Roxanne again, coming back with the facts that you don't like to hear. So this week I'm doing something different. I'm going to be incorporating some music to explain some differences in society, just commenting on, it's what happened in Virginia, hints of what happened in Virginia, and just talking about, what's going on in today's society. When you think about what happened in Virginia, a lot of people think that it's just two-color race, and it's black or white and that's it, but it's not necessarily that. It's much deeper, because it's people coming together of all different backgrounds that are fighting these Nazis. If you look at any of the protest rallies, like the protests that happen right now in Boston, I'd rather shed light to the positive things going on. There was a smaller rally of neo-Nazi fascists, talking about white power and all this stuff, but there was tens of thousands more people marching around them, trying to drown them out and saying that they're not welcome, and it was all colors, all people, supporting this idea that, racism should not be alive and well in 2017. Now we're trying to incorporate more diversity, and people are getting upset about that. And that's why I put out my YouTube channel as well. I put out it as a platform for myself, because at the end of the day, I don't see that many people that look like me on TV, and it does bother me. I'm not accepting where we are in society, because I don't feel like we're at our best yet. I don't. If we're still protesting people being racist, then why stay silent now? Why not care when, we can make a difference for the future generations? I don't think that it's right for you to say that you have to hate a certain group of people, because at the end of the day, when I look at things like that happened in Boston, I see that there was more people out there supporting each other and coming together as a collective to realize that there are injustices that are still going on in America, but we're not going to back down from them, and we're also going to come together as a result rather than be divided. But am I going to be negative towards every white person I come across? No. Am I going to be rude to someone just because of their skin color? No, because that would make me just as racist as the people that I'm trying to say shouldn't be here. That would make me just as racist as the white Nazi saying that he doesn't like me because I'm brown or Mexican, and me going back saying that I don't like him because he's white. Like, it's a never-ending cycle of hatred, like instances like in Boston, where people come together to show them that hatred is no place in America. And no matter what you look like, you have a voice, and it needs to be heard. And you should speak out against violence and hatred and injustices.
Mike Melinoe, Detroit, Michigan.
Alright, so hey, we're here going to be doing an interview with Mike Melinoe. He's a rising rapper. He's from Detroit. Y'all know that my channel is about inspiring people, just letting young people know that, everybody can reach out for something if you really want to try, and if you work hard enough, you get there. So there are people that really inspire, and just want to showcase that on my channel. So let's get started. Alright. So what is your goal in making music, and why did you start it out?
Well, my goal, I feel like I have several goals, but just mainly it's just a voice, just expression, just like anybody else would say. I started playing sports mainly in high school, so I thought I would have been in like NFL or like running track. So yeah. My dad, just going back in my history, like my dad played for a league, and he was like heavy influence in music growing up, in a sense, even though he wasn't around, but like he played the piano. So with my mom, choreography, or just even like doing or writing.
That's really cool. So you started out like real young in church, and
yeah.
Was it with the choir? Or?
Yeah, and I was in school for choir. Really crazy. My first little music tape that I owned was Christian music, and he was a rapper. And that's when I first was like, oh, Little Mike. And I played the violin at a point in time in my life. Yeah. And like, it's weird now, my little brother makes beats for me, but I used to be in the choir and he used to play the drums. So it's just that correlation now, and we're older and just kind of like, in this music business, and now he's my producer and I'm the artist.
Yeah.
Even at times he may DJ for me if he needs to, so it's yeah, I've literally been in it for a long time.
So it's much more than music too. It's something that runs in your family.
Oh yeah.
Helps you all come
real
together.
Deep, yeah, very deep. And honestly, the music culture in Detroit is very instilled in jazz, formulated, just instrumentation in general, but jazz was my first love. So, and then I heard of Lil Wayne, and then it transpired to college, failed with football, and now I'm like,
So everything pretty much like falling into place in a way.
Yeah, full circle.
Yeah, that's really good. So what was your inspiration behind like one of your albums, like Caveman?
Well, Caveman was probably one of my favorite projects still today. It was just a moment in my time where I really felt like I found myself, a deeper meaning of really creating this project. And I used to have an apartment, and it's 15666, and I was really in my room creating this, and it became like a cave, but it was the ground up, like blueprint. You have to create it here, so that's the essence of just understanding the correlation with the caveman.
And you also paint. So what do you go through when you're actually like painting your different canvases, and like does your music ever play into what you paint?
Honestly, I just started painting in December. I tried, and literally I didn't know much of it. I mean, we all have seen paintings. I've been to museums. Like we get it, but it was really no connection. And then in May, I created this style, which is what I do now. And I really don't want to do any other paintings other than Shades of Hospitality is what I call my collection, or just my art. And that's basically the baggage that we all carry every day. So if I can inflict your feelings positive, like in a positive manner or a negative manner. Mm-hmm. So I can say, oh, you're beautiful. Maybe you take that in, and that beautiful compliment can uplift you to do whatever you want next. And I believe it's just that baggage that over time that we carry, and I don't really think too much when I paint. I try not to be conceptual.
So this might, I might say it wrong, but A Night with Hanabi.
Perfect.
Okay, A Night with Hanabi. So that's a very different style from Caveman, leaning towards like R&B, a lot more instrumental play with it. Mm-hmm. So why did you have that separation?
Well, after I released Caveman last year, I was prone to test myself. Mm-hmm. And that was just a big test for me. It was try to create a sound and be uncomfortable and dwell in that atmosphere of uncomfortability. Like you have to understand what that is, and that's growth. Mm-hmm. And it's the substance that is carried under also. So yeah, it's just a different side, but it's something that I always wanted to do.
Yeah. I know before I want to switch up to the more controversial topics, I wanted to ask you about your hats. So I know you do have a shop and all of that. Yes. So do you also create your hats and come up with the designs for everything?
I mean, I try to stay as creative as possible, or just, or have some sort of input with everything that I do. Currently, right now, I am a one-man band. At least I'm learning more about myself, but this hat is really just the bottom part of my actual logo. It's like this mask that I created, and it's just this image, because I really see Mike Melinoe as a superhero. Melinoe stands for the bringer and sorcerer of nightmares, which was a goddess, Greek mythology. So, and my mom was the person that always brought me out of that, which is the symbolism of a woman. So it's just, I feel like Mike Melinoe just brought me into my own of who I always wanted to be. So it was more like this idolized superhero that I admire, and I'm also living in reality. Like, well, I may go to a part-time, or I gotta go to a performance tonight, but I just got off work. Yeah. So it's just the super. I just want to be so much, even though I am that person. But technically, I still can go outside of this shot.
For Begonia, the video behind Begonia and everything that you portrayed in Begonia, what the lyrics were, what was the inspiration behind that?
Well, I brought a treatment to the director, and he brought a treatment also. So a lot that was portrayed wasn't necessarily all of what I thought of, but the whole purpose of it was just basically showing two sides. A begonia flower, that's necessarily what it is. A flower, and it's a beauty, and it represents a lot of other things, but I took beauty from it. So I feel like my artistry is beautiful, but also in the artistry, just coming off the first few lines is very aggressive, but it's also a message, and I speak from a point of view where perspective, experience, and understanding. So, I mean, that being said, it's the video we just wanted to portray, I guess, a black man getting over on a white man in a sense, you know, and it's several other symbols in there, you know, but like, you know, the KKK situation at the end, it's just, I mean, it's a lot going on right now, and I feel like if I have a voice, I would like to speak out, and that was like the minimum, you know, that really what, you know, what I would want to do, but like that was maybe this small portion of how I really think, and I feel like we did a good job with it. Like, we did a really good job, but yeah, that's like, even the chorus, "Say Your Life," like, you know, it's so pivotal in my life. Just me being from Detroit and just understanding that this voice is very important. So, what am I going to do? Speak about just weed or drug like all day? It's like we get it, you know, but it's literally situations that I feel as artists we must, you know, tackle just to, because I can inflict a lot on people. Like, I can change a young boy's mind or a young lady's mind at home. That's 13, 14, 10, whoever is listening to it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying go, you know, cut off someone's head and put it that way as portrayed. It's just more so like, understand what reality is. You know, this is not a game for people. You know, it's literally people out here dying. And I mean, I'm 25. So it's like, to be 25 and just like experiencing the fact that before I was here and you were here, like, it was racism and it's still effective, you know. So it's like, okay, and that's truly how I feel though. Like, you know, I'm for it all. Like, you know, I'm not a, you know, a nation of Islam or anything, but, you know, or a Black Panther, but I do stand for those, you know, rights as a human being or a black male. Like, and I feel like if that's my way of expressing, I'm going to do it that way.
Yeah, and so a lot of the things that you portrayed in that video, like from the beginning where like the cop walks in and he sets down his badge,
right,
and you know, you look over to him and you're just like,
yeah.
And later on, you know, is it the same person that ends up in the wheelchair?
Literally.
So, okay, so at the end, like, right after the mask is portrayed and, like, the eyes are coming down, like, the eyes are bleeding, and, you know, he's in the wheelchair. What was that, like, transition for both of you?
Not too many people get to see the black man portray themselves as this superior individual getting over KKK member. We've seen photos for hundreds of years now of us being hanged in some sort of way, or just displayed as beings or animals. So for me to just have a small symbolism of, you know, you know what I mean? It was so, like, it was so small. But Mike Melinoe has two different sides. So caveman in the night, why not? You know, we all have different sides. Shades of hospitality, going back to that also. It's just, we have to understand, like, this is my perspective at the time. If I see someone on TV getting shot down, I'm furious. Just kind of making it known, like, yo, like, you know, it's 2017.
Yeah.
So we don't want to get to that point, but, you know.
Yeah. So you're talking all about balance and everything like that. And I know you mentioned about how, like, it's 2017, but there's still a lot of racism. And I, you know, as a person who has experienced racism before, like, what would your advice be to other people that go through it? You know, of any color, you know.
Right, because that's definitely, like, you know, because it's a color thing, but really it's not. I feel like right now is the perfect time for every individual to stand up for what you believe in. I mean, I'm not saying the white supremacists, you know, they're right at all. You know, forget them by all means. But because I have a manager at a point in time, and he's kind of very racist. So how do I approach these situations? At the end of the day, no one can really say that racism is because of something.
Yeah.
Come on, man. It's quite ignorant. But I don't know. Just stand for what you believe in, but also be safe. Because realistically, it's not necessarily for you. It's for the kids that's coming, like the next generation. And after that, like, what are we really doing this for? Like, why am I making music? You know, why do people speak out? Or, you know, it's just, you gotta have a larger purpose or a bigger purpose. You know what I mean? And allow it to be meaningful. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you really got to have a message like, no, I believe in this. Like, you know, let's try to make something happen. Understand what you believe in. And also, it's not about you. Like, it's really not, you know? Yeah. So that's probably the message of it.
In the future, like, I know you just got your article published, Phase of the Moon. So, so how is that? Was that one of your? I know when I was reading the article, I got a little confused. So it said how it's basically you were writing the song while you were in Detroit, or like you were with your friends and making that video together.
I performed a few songs and then they approached me. Oh, I like music, blah, blah, blah. Let me get your number. Got the contact, literally text me like, come up here. We have flamethrowers. I'm like, what are we doing? Like, we perform, what are we doing? Oh, just come, they have flamethrowers. And like, I even just listened to the recording of that record and I'm like, oh man, I wish I could re-record it. Or, but it's a great opportunity. Like, Noisy is very supportive in a sense to me. So I appreciate it. But so I'm just more pleased with the opportunity to have that, released. And honestly, I was on them for about a year or two. I wasn't playing about that video. The next project that I'm working on, which will be 15666, and I was on my apartment, number. But I mean, it just depends on what I really want from it. Like, make it the best project I could probably do. I have this crazy vision for where I would like to be in life, and I know it's impossible for me to get there if I don't do this project the way I want to do it. Just singing, and then it's just like hip hop. But also, I love to break the standards of any level. It's just all art. I'm just breaking the barriers. I want to be one of those artists that's just, he just did whatever. He broke all the, not necessarily records, but he didn't care what the standards was, what the boundaries were. He just exceeded them all. It's like, I know my art can last for decades. Fucking a long time. So, yeah, I'm just trying to infuse and just make sense of everything. And like I said, if I die, I just want to make sure I put everything there. But ultimately, I do want people to understand that you can accomplish anything. Like, it's so easy. But it's more mental. And that's not really taught in our schools. Yeah. So it's like, if you were taught in school, like, maybe anything, if you can see it here, find yourself inside, that manifestation will connect with the universe. And we're all connected in a sense to this planet. Really just put the work in and just see it first, put the work in, and let the earth be what it is. Don't panic, think of the positive thoughts. Cause I'm not even gonna lie, I trying still, I be down, still work a part-time job, and it's crazy. I've been overseas a few times, done all these accolades, and it's just, I'm still at that moment where I'm getting it, I'm grabbing it, but I feel it. And the harder you run, it's like maybe it's getting closer, and then it just go back. It's like, you know what I mean? And that's probably a delay of like, okay, it's a hard time. Go through these hard times, deal with them accordingly, but also understand it's impossible for me as a human being to progress in life if we do not have hard times. Like, you would never have that experience. You know what I mean? So I'm just dwelling with my my conscience every day and just understanding day-to-day assessments is the only way I'm gonna get to where I really want to be. And it's hard work and dedication and consistency and persistence. So if you have all that and a good brain and understanding that it's not going to be easy, and also what you do is totally different than what I do. Your experience is going to always be different from mine and vice versa. So looking at Kanye on the TV is never going to help me. Yeah. I can always be, you're great, but come on now. Kanye can never be me, and I can never be Kanye. Yeah. So it's just like, what do I want to offer and why? Yeah. Once you figure that out, it's so simple.
I wanted to go back to how you were saying how, you go through these obstacles and you're running and you get pushed back that much farther, because a lot of, especially with social media now today, everybody looks at Instagram and they're like, oh, she's so perfect, she has her whole life together, or he has all this money, I wonder how he got it, he got it just in one night, he blew up in 1 second, and they don't understand that it's a process, it takes years to get there, and you have to fall way more. What would you do with your music to show that, to share that? Because I mean, especially today, there's not much of people showing their failures. There's always people sharing their successes, which is when people only see the successes and don't realize that there's failure along with the successes. That's why they give up, because they're like, well, I didn't get successful in one night, so what the hell's the point, So, I mean, what would you say to that person that has that mentality?
I mean, well, people usually say, the day you give up, the next day is probably when it would have been received. So consciously even knowing small things like that, which is going back to what I said, it's really all within. So it's more conscious. You just work your butt off and just see it. It's going to happen. Like, you know, it's just staying focused and stop idolizing people that you don't know. You don't know these stories. Mm-hmm. So, like, I mean, of course I want to be a very successful person with finances. I don't want to always say a billionaire, because realistically, I mean, that doesn't make me a person. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm just as talented currently. I just want the platform. Yeah. So if Noisy's the platform, if the Fader is the platform, just give me the platform. Let the people choose. Yeah. So it's just really work. Just that moment when you feel like you've given up, take a break. Sit down, focus, meditate, and understand that, dude, all right, I know it's hard, but just keep working. Mm-hmm. I had that experience less than a week ago. It happens all the time. Like, I had an art show, like 2 art shows. I didn't sell nothing. But, I mean, people was interested. You know, I just started painting in May, so why do I expect to just sell paintings that's a few $1,000s? People just selling theirs for $300, and people kind of astonished by my price. They're like, $2,000, but realistically, people gotta understand art. So just keep working hard and just understand. Like I said, like, I mean, if you want it overnight, it's never gonna last long. I'm more for longevity. I prefer to just shoot for longevity and just understand. Like, I mean, hey, if I just work hard today, if I work hard for another year, I mean, hey, God got a plan, I got a plan. You know, I'm not a Christian or anything, but I believe in the universe, and you know, the universe is God. So, I mean, I'm instilled, and we're all connected to that piece. So, realistically, it's just find yourself, like, cause but it's easy to get lost. It's so easy to get lost. It's not too many people that's really understanding it. It's so easy to get lost because we have the Instagrams, you know. So it's just sacrifice, understanding who you are and why, and just going forward with it. Like I said, take a break. Yeah. We all stress. Take a break. I believe every day, take some time for yourself. Think, sit back, whatever you need. Just relax, drink some water. Not always got to be high. Like, you know, just sit back, understand. Like, dang, man, I'm alive. I woke up today. Yeah. Proceed. It's that simple.
That's a really good note to end. Well, I just want to thank you a lot for, like, coming out here and doing this interview, you know, saying all those things, being vulnerable like that, and sharing your thoughts on a few touchy topics that might, you know, get people, like, thinking or saying some things. You know, it's better to share it, like you said, and speak up now, than rather just stay silent and never say anything about it and just complain in your room or something about it. You know?
That's crazy.
Because that's how. That's what a lot of people don't understand. Like, that's how hatred starts. That's how violence starts. Because you're just, like, bottling it up inside of yourself rather than, like, letting it out. And
true. And really, a lot of people don't know themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot of people just really don't know, and they've been manipulated all their lives. So it's like you kind of can't blame them, but also, who is your parents? You know, who are you around? It's impossible for me to be a millionaire if I want to be a millionaire without people who get money. I can't be around Joe Blow who just got fired and just depressed, smoking all night. And then it's Billy Bob Thornton over here that's just like, oh man, like, you want to go party? And it's just like, realistically, bro, partying and just smoking my life away. I mean, yeah, I get it, but I'd rather just sit home and figure it out. Like, I don't go out for what? That's a waste of my money and time. So just stay focused, man, for real.
That's hard. Yeah, especially right now, like, a lot of young people think, like I get that criticism a lot. Like, it's like, you're boring, or you don't do anything, or
so boring.
It's like, well, I'm trying to work so I don't have to do anything in the future and just chill. And that's when I'll chill. Right now, I'm broke. I don't have no reason to chill. Like, so yeah. But all right. Well, thank you again for coming out. And, you know, everyone make sure to go follow his Instagram and go check out his music on YouTube. He has an article on Noisy. You know, if you want to read it down, still go check it out. Right. You know, like, everything starts out, you know, nobody can be successful without people supporting you. So everybody, you know, that's trying to make it needs to understand that you gotta start supporting each other. Yeah. So thank you again.
Appreciate it.
Thank you again.